right, 7 o'clock. Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Scholl. I'm the lead learner at the Center for Educator Wellness and Learning, and that is a center just launched by the South Carolina Education Association. And I'm so proud to be a member of the South Carolina Education Association and the National Education Association, which is the largest labor union in the United States. And we would love to have you be a part of our movement. Just go to jointhescea.org right now. You can join at no cost. You can join for free right now. And that's just head on over there, check it out. Check out all of our resources. What we're going to be doing out and towards the end of tonight's presentation, I'll be sharing, hopefully if I have time, I'm going to be sharing some of the resources that our new center is going to be providing. And one of those things is going to be professional learning sessions like the one you're in tonight. I hope tonight everybody comes really well. If you didn't get a chance to see last night's session, the inner work with Tisha Smalls-Brown, that webinar is posted along with a bunch of other webinars, pretty much every other webinar that we've done on the cool website, which is CEWL.us. That's CEWL.us. And I'll type that in to the comments if I can monitor that as well. So yeah, just check that out. Her session was so great. If you're stressed out, if you need to feel like you need to kind of recenter yourself, this is such a great session. It's also on the SCEA's Facebook channel that you can also check that out. So what we're talking about tonight is Flipgrid. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's see. Make sure I optimize it for video clips because I do have a few video clips that I want to share with you. I'm going to leave the app where I was playing music and open up. Let's see, what do I want to open up first? I think I want to open up this, which is some links that I'm going to post in a comment. And if you check in the comments, you're going to see a bunch of links for tonight's session. And yeah, just check those out. And then I want to start my PowerPoint. So those links are really helpful, helpful tips for you. So let's see if I can change. This should be in presenter mode. I don't know if you guys are seeing the full screen or if you guys are seeing what you guys are seeing. Let me see if I can figure that out. You guys are seeing, oh, okay. So let me see if I can change that to, I want it to be in full screen mode. Why is it doing that? Well, shoot. It's not what I wanted. There it is. Okay, cool. All right, sorry. All right, so as I said, tonight we are going to be talking about Flipgrid. It is such a cool app. I'm really excited to share this with you. And we're going to be taking a look at what Flipgrid is, why you might want to use it, how to use it, some examples. I always like to tie in social emotional learning if I can. So some really cool examples of how you can improve and foster healthy social emotional learning environments utilizing Flipgrid. And I'm going to give you time, if we have time, for you to just play in Flipgrid and then closure, and I'll share some of those resources with you. So I want to talk about the importance of empowering learners and helping them share their voices and respect diverse voices. We need this more than ever. When we talk about literacy, we have traditionally thought about that in terms of reading and writing. And really, if you just think about, if we pull back from that and think about communication, how do we communicate as human beings? And reading and writing are really fundamental, important things for us to understand how to encode and decode language through the written word. That's important. But if you've been paying attention to the world, you see that more and more our students are taking in audio and video, and they're creating audio, video. Now we can stick to and cling to our traditional models of, hey, it's just reading and writing. or we can open up the idea of literacy to include the watching other people's videos and audio and creating effective video and audio. And I think as we move further into the 21st century, our students need to have the skills of being able to communicate, not just with the written word, not just be able to interpret the written word, but they need to be able to create audio and video content and be able to critically analyze and look at audio and video content. So real quickly, this is a sort of an overview of getting started on Flipgrid for you educators watching.
Want to get started with Flipgrid? It's simple, and we're here to support you. First, create a group. Just name it and add your students to it. Type in your domain name, that's everything after the @ symbol in your email, or connect your Google Classroom. Select Create Group, and step 1 is done. To make it even easier to get discussions started, there's a default introductions topic in every group. Topics are the prompts that learners respond to. Invite your students to participate by sharing your group. Simply select Share and copy the link. You can share the link anywhere, like email, Microsoft Teams, or Google Classroom. You can even share the group as a QR code for learners to scan. That's all it takes to get started on Flipgrid. Now, just wait for the discussions to take off. In the meantime, explore all of our Flipgrid tools, like our ready-to-use topics or the Flipgrid camera, to help you spark great discussions. You've got this. You are amazing, and we're so honored you're using Flipgrid to empower every voice. Want to see what things look like for your students? Check out this video. And for specific questions, our Help Center has you covered. Let's start learning together.
All right, now don't freak out if you watch that video and you're like, wait, well, what do I do? Because I'm gonna show you what to do. Show you what to do, and I'm gonna take you through a walkthrough of what she just did in terms of setting up a group and then setting up a topic. And then if you look in the comments section, I put in some links to a PDF if you're more of a person who'd rather like to sort of read through the instructions, and then a longer 15-minute tutorial that Flipgrid created for you guys that you can go through as well. So don't think you got to get it all working right now. If you want to, you're welcome to right now go to flipgrid.com and go ahead and get things set up and be working with that in another tab as you're watching this webinar. Now, I want to talk about back to why we would use this. Student voice. We've got to encourage our young people to be citizens who aren't afraid of using their voice. And they're not, like they're creating TikTok videos. They're creating video content. The question is, who's guiding them in the creation of that stuff, and what is their content about? I don't have anything. There's nothing wrong with a kid making a fun little dance video or some kind of humorous video. Those are fun. But I really like the idea of helping students be vulnerable enough to talk about who they are and tell their stories, what their inner feelings are, how they feel about world events, how they feel about things happening in their community. How do they feel about the stuff going on in Ukraine, for an example? What are their favorite books? What are their favorite movies? When we talk about building relationships with students, we can have them write this down. You can say, what are your favorite books? What's your favorite food? What's the favorite place you've ever been to? And we can start to learn about our students in terms of the written word. But there's some students who might be better at expressing themselves through video. It might just be an easier way for them. And we might learn a little bit more because the video is going to include some nonverbal content. And we're going to learn a lot about our students that we can't learn through the written word, because the written word doesn't have tone of voice. It doesn't have facial expressions. It doesn't have some of that extra content that we take in non-verbally to truly understand the human beings that are in our classroom. So I want you to watch this video about every student having their story.
I think it's important to have a voice because
It means that we get to speak up.
it gives you a chance to speak your mind.
Sometimes not everyone's heard and everybody has an opinion.
We can inspire other people.
Show the world who you are.
And you get to share your ideas and you get to say what you want.
Student voice matters because they should be active participants in their learning.
We can help ignite their passions, build on their curiosity, and help them make an impact on their world.
Because everyone deserves a chance to be heard.
That is the power of student voice.
I'm Evan, and I have a voice.
My name is Jocelyn, and I have a voice.
I have a voice.
I'm proud of my voice. You need to hear it.
Awesome, dude.
I love that. I love that. And I love the idea of empowering kids. So when I was fortunate enough to teach broadcast journalism. And so our whole thing was creating video, audio content. And it's so cool to see kids come out of their shells. You have some kids who will absolutely surprise you with the depth of what's inside them when you give them a different medium in which they can communicate. And so some of the kids who maybe aren't very good at expressing themselves through writing can be dynamic audio video creators. So you'll find this stuff in the links that I sent. When you're going to introduce this to your student, the first thing I would just recommend you do is familiarize yourself with the Flipgrid platform. Get a basic understanding of how to create groups, how to create topics, all the different little bells and whistles that are in there so you understand it. And then maybe what you can do is do a test drive with one of your classes or a smaller group of your students. Or you may even do a test drive with some of your colleagues, because the Flipgrid isn't just about facilitating video conversation with your students. It could be with your parents. It could be with your the folks on your hall, or like your sixth grade math teacher, all the sixth grade math teachers. It could be something like that. So you can facilitate all kinds of conversations. So you don't have to limit it just to classes. But when you do start working with students, and this quick little video is kind of gives them a sort of a primer as to what Flipgrid's all about. So this is the primer for students.
Get started on Flipgrid in 3 easy steps. Step 1, join the discussion. Use the join link or enter the join code that was shared by your educator. Ta-da, you're in. Step 2, record a video with your response to the prompt. Use any of the Flipgrid camera tools and feel free to get creative. Explore, have fun, be yourself. Yeah, even like that. Then step 3, take a selfie and submit your video. That's it. It's that easy to complete an assignment in Flipgrid. Now watch the comments in your classmates' videos come in and the discussions take off. Let's start learning together.
So if you remember in my session, if you happen to attend that and we talked about podcasting, remember, I want to go back to that point that I made. When you create content, and the only person in the world who's going to see it is the teacher, and they're going to apply a rubric or whatever, and they're going to assign a grade to it, the motivation is not going to be super high, other than they're trying to get a good grade, right? The motivation is I have to create something that's good enough that my teacher will give me the grade that I want to be successful. When you start assigning content that they're going to share with folks other than just the teacher, so they're going to share this with the community or share this with other classmates, then there's a little bit more pressure and a little bit more incentive for a lot of students to create great content. So this is what it looks like when you're inside. You create topics, and I'm going to actually skip this and show you in real time what it looks like. So basically, after you've created groups, okay, your groups could be, like I said, it could be your classes. So if, say, you're a high school teacher and you've got block 1, block 2, block 4, or you've got 6 periods and, however you want to do it, algebra 1, algebra 2, calculus, whatever. So those are your group names. You're going to create groups. And you can, like I said, you can create as many groups as you want. You can create a group for the educators in your building, for parents, whatever, however you want to do it. But it seems common for you to create a group for each class that you have. And then what the other big word here in Flipgrid world is topic. So this is going to be sort of like the prompt that you're going to use, that the question, the idea, the thing you want students to debate or to explore or to discuss. Okay. And what you're trying to do is to inspire a conversation that they're going to have digitally, and they're going to post a response to this prompt. Now, they can also, after they post it, they can comment. So they can write a response, or they can record responses to each other. So you're starting to create back and forth. Then you're going to set the access, and you're going to share it. You can share it straight to Google Classrooms. If you have Microsoft Teams, you can do that. You can embed it on a website. You can send it out through Remind. You can send it out through email. And what this does is it fosters social learning. And this is really what kids need in 2022. They need a sense that the work that they're doing is not just a single assignment for a single person, that we are learning together, we are growing together, we're creating content together, and we're also giving feedback on each other's content. And so Flipgrid is such a powerful way to do that. And there's, they offered these suggestions. So at the pre-K through 8th grade level, icebreakers, book talks, current events, aha moments, mathematical thinking, recorder karaoke, science fairs, newscasts. Then at the high school level, world language learning. So you can have, if you're teach a foreign language, you can have students respond in Spanish or French or whatever they're learning. Scientific research. You can do this if you're a PE teacher. You can have them post themselves doing push-ups or whatever. Virtual art shows, debates. So there's a whole host of things. And then for families, if you're struggling with getting parents to come in, you can create a prompt for families, like, what questions do you have about what happens inside my classroom? What are some things that you need to know of? And they can record their responses on their phone if they're not able to come in. And then you at least get to see, who are the parents of my students? And you're getting to see and hear their voices, which helps you understand your students a little bit better. And then you can respond to them. And then for staff or for professional learning, you can do staff celebrations. You can do virtual presentations. You can do goal setting. You can do staff meetings like this. What an incredible way to say, hey, look, we have this issue going on at school, and that's the prompt. So your group is the whole, your faculty. And the prompt could be, we're having issues with tardies. What do you guys have? What are some suggestions? And you're sort of crowdsourcing solutions. And rather than having everybody go to a room and, spend an hour and a half after school, and when everybody's tired, people take a minute and a half, 2 minutes, however long you want to set the response time to, and they can share their responses. And then the administration can collect that data, give feedback, piece together some of the answers, and then create videos that they can play back for the staff. Really cool. The other thing that I'm going to show you in just a minute is the Discovery Library. The Discovery Library is where there are educators all over the world who have created prompts. So they've created content. So you don't necessarily have to go and reinvent the wheel here. You can actually go in and check by your subject area or by topic. Like, so if you're a STEM teacher, you can do STEM search for STEM prompts and activities. And then you can just copy those and duplicate them. And you can also contribute to this discovery library as well. When you have something that you feel like really worked well with students, you share this, you can share this with other educators, which is really cool. So we're going to take a minute to explore and hope that everything works. So keep your fingers crossed. So we're going to take a look inside Flipgrid. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. And we are inside Flipgrid. I got to move my toolbar out of the way a little bit here. Okay, cool. All right, so what you see is I've set up a Flipgrid account. And again, you can go to flipgrid.com, set up your free account. You can log in using a Microsoft email or a Google Gmail account. And what do you got in here? So let's talk about groups first. So we're going to go back to groups. And you can see I've got two groups set up, but I'm going to just walk you through setting up a group. That couldn't be easier, right? You just click this button right here, the blue button, and you're going to create a group. Name your group. So I'm going to call this block 2. And then you can edit your theme. You can upload a photo if you want. You can, if you want to do like dogs, here you go, click continue. And then you set who can join. It could be anybody with the link or only people you approve. So you have to decide how you want to do that. Okay, so that's under link. And then under email, you can enter the email address of your students or upload a CSV file with all of your students if you want to just go ahead and add those students yourself if you've got that data. You can also connect to your Google Classroom. For those of you who use Google Classroom, you can do it that way. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it like the most basic way, which is anyone with a link. And then the only possible problem that I see with anyone with a link is if the student gives it to somebody else that shouldn't have it. Now, I don't know why they would do that, but if you want to make it where you have to approve everybody who comes in, you can set that. But I'm just going to do anyone with a link. And then I click the blue create group button right here. And now you see I've got my block 2 group created. Now I can copy this link, okay? And I can put that in an email. I can post it to Google Classroom. Straight here, just Google Classroom here. If I have a website and I want to copy the embed code and paste it in that group into a school website, a Weebly website, a Wix website, whatever, you can embed that into your website. If you use Microsoft Teams, you can connect it there. You can share on Remind or post to Twitter. So let's just say you copy the link and then just close out of it and then go to your email and send it out via email or however you want students to be able to join. You also have a code here. It is an 8-digit alphanumeric code that's specific to your group. And so when students go in, they can go into the app and put that specific code in and then become a member of your group. Okay. So now I've got this group created. I can go and edit that theme anytime. I can add a co-lead. So if you're working with another teacher in the building and you want to add a co-lead to that group so they can add content as well and sort of help you admin it, then that's fine. And then once people start entering, you can click member view and see all your members. Again, anytime you want to click the share button and that comes back up so you can copy the link. And then over here is where you can edit the group, all the basic functions. If you want to hide the group, you can. If you want to get everything set up and you want to duplicate it because you have the same type of class, 2 or 3 times during the day, you can do that. Delete the group, etc. Okay, so you've got the group set up. And now what you're going to do is you're going to create topics. So you'll see this blue topic button and we just create a topic. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to call this movies. That's going to be the title. And my question is going to be, what is your favorite film of all time? I keep missing my M's. Right. And then what I can do is I can import images to this topic. I can record a video and say, hey guys, you know, I don't know if you guys like movies like I do, but you know, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. What's your favorite film of all time? You know, so you can record sort of a video sort of to start kick things off. You can add your Bitmojis, your GIFs or GIFs, whatever your preference is there, stickers. You can upload a video if you had something pre-recorded or edited. You can add a YouTube or Vimeo video, or you can add, and I'm not going to get into the integrations there, but you can also add attachments from your Google folders. So you just click add and then paste the links in there. So from your OneDrive or your Google Drive, you can add attachments in there. And then you set the recording time. This is very important. So you need to decide how long you want your responses to be. So this would be the maximum amount. So they don't have to do, like if you set it to 1.5 minutes, they don't have to do the entire 1.5 minutes. It's just that's going to stop them at 1.5 minutes. And you have to decide, you know, do you want this to be something really short, like 15 seconds, and they have it all the way up to 10 minutes. So it depends on, you know, what the assignment is, maybe what age they are, what you're trying to do. So, and then under settings, so those are the details under settings here. Okay. You can set that status as active, view only. In other words, they can see it, but they can't respond yet. And hidden. So what would hidden be for? Well, let's say at the beginning of a semester, beginning of the year, you want to go ahead and set up a bunch of topics, but you don't want the topics to be revealed to students yet. So you can hide them. And then you go into your Flipgrid account and make them active when you want them to be active. You can set launch dates. So you can set it where it'll be visible on a particular date, and then no longer accepting responses, prompt responses at a particular date. So you can set that date there. You can set it where you moderate all videos and comments. So if you want to, you can make it where you have to moderate everything, and before any responses or comments are going to be visible to the other students in your class, or even to anybody other than you, you can set that green toggle button on. And if you want to be safe now, me personally, I err on the side of giving students freedom. And then if it becomes a problem, I might go back and toggle that on. But I would be very clear about what the ground rules are, like what's okay to say in a prompt and do in a prompt, what's okay in terms of comments. And I'd be very clear about what the rules are. And I'd say, I'm going to give you the freedom to do this. And if we have problems, then I'd go in and add the moderation. As with regards to those comments, you may decide you want to have video and text comments available. So if a student submits a prompt, submits a minute and a half video as a response, like my favorite movie is blah, 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 then the other students can comment. You can set it where they can have a video response to that video or text, or you can say, I only want video comments, I want text comments, or I don't want any comments involved. You can set your closed captions, which is cool because if you have any students who are hearing impaired, if you also want to have those captions play so that students can read while they're hearing the words, that can be very helpful for those students, especially young students learning to read. And then you decide whether they're allowed to add attachment links. Are they allowed to download and share? You may want to toggle that off. To allow likes on videos, you can do that and display the view count. So how many people watch those prompts? And then there's different camera settings. So you can toggle on their ability to add text, drawings, photos, stickers, frames, and boards, sticky notes, and different lenses, filters, GIFs, and backdrops. And you may decide that, look, they're crazy with these filters and crap. So I want to turn that off. That's really up to you. And then you can do a password if you want to for families and guests to join the topic. So you can toggle that on and give a guest password, put that on there. And then that allows some families and guests to join the topic if you want them to. Okay. So if you like those settings, you can save those changes to your default settings. So then, like, let's say you don't really want the view count and you don't want the sticky notes. Then when you click that box, then the next time you post a topic, those settings will already be set for you. if you're pretty consistent with them, but you can always go in and change them. So you're done with all that. You click post the topic. And then similar to the way we had a group code or a group link, we now have a topic link, a topic code. And so we can copy that link, and then we could put that, paste it into an email, paste it into a text, whatever. Put it on the overhead. On the overhead that shows you how old I am, on the projector, whatever however you want to share that link. Then you can create a QR code and then download it and post that somewhere in the class. So maybe when they come in on Monday, they know, hey, there's going to be a new QR code for the, whatever. You can download and print that, which is cool. Put it on a flyer. You can share it directly to Google Classroom. Again, copy that embed code. If you know what I'm talking about, if you have a website, paste it as an embed code, that code into your website, and it'll embed the topic into your website. You can share it to Microsoft Teams to remind, and to Twitter. So there you go. So now I've got a movies response. And for those of you following along, anybody who wanted to could join by typing in the 6C4E 3DC0, and you would be able to record a response to that prompt. Pretty cool, huh? So that's sort of the basics right there. And when students get in there, they're going to add their response, and this is basically how it's done, right? So I'll show you the phone version in just a little bit, but you see, like, if they're on a laptop or a desktop computer, it'll look similar to this. And they'll see the timer up here. And then down here at the bottom, they've got options. So they can upload a clip they've already recorded, or they can, we could do mic only. So that means if you have students, I don't really want you to see me. I don't mind recording my voice, Mr. Scholl, but I really don't like the idea of people seeing me. If you want to allow that, you can tell them, hey, you can do mic only. Mirror video just flips your video around. Mute would mute yourself, obviously. They can record their screen. So if they want to capture something on their screen, like a PowerPoint or something they want to show, they can do that. And under device settings, this is important to show them. This is where they would pick their camera and their microphone if it's not obvious already. And then there's all these really cool effects. And this is where they'll have a lot of fun, right? Kids really like these filters. So there's different types of filters. If they want to, St. Patrick's Day, there's filters. There's text, so they can add text. See, and they can change the font, the color of the text. They can change the outline of it, and then the background. So if they want to make the background red, they could do that. So they can play around with text. Okay. And then there is a pen. So if they want to write, they can actually write on the screen. And then there is a board. If they want to do a board, I won't go ahead and click that. So like if you want to put a board, they can have a board next to them. And by the way, if you put the text on there, you can resize it. You can move it around. So if I want to move that around over to here, I can do that. I can delete it. Boom, done, gone. Let's go back to the effects. There's stickers. So they want to put a sticker on there, they can. Okay. And if they want to do a GIF, they can. If they want to add a photo, if they want to add a frame to everything, they can do lots of different fun things. So let them be creative. It's up to you how much of that you want to allow, how much you want it, whether you really want them to do that stuff or not. And then you can have them do like a backdrop. So there's different backdrops here, just like on Zoom. So hopefully this is going to work. Yeah, so you can sort of see the backdrop here. So they can have different fun, lots of fun. If they're at home, maybe they don't want people to see inside their house for some reason. So they can use the backdrop and sort of have some privacy in that way. So that's that. that is, and of course, how do you record? So there's this circle down here. And again, you see the timer up here and then the circle. And then they click the circle, and then it's 3, 2, 1, counts them down. And then hi, everybody. It's Todd. And my favorite movie of all time is Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite film of the 9 saga films. It's just really great. I really love when Darth Vader reveals that he is Luke's father. And then I click pause. And that pauses the video, and see that I only used 19 seconds there. So I can add more to it, or I can say, okay, that's my response right now. And then they were, hi, everybody. And I Todd, and my favorite movie of all time is Star Wars. All right, so here's where they can edit it. They can edit the video if they want to. Okay, they can add music to the video. Okay, so there's different types of music that they can add to their video, which is kind of fun. And then once they're done editing, they can either up here download their video. They can add a sticky note there. And then once they're done, they're saying, I'm good. This is how I want my video to be. Then they can post it. Now, they can edit the cover by taking a selfie, uploading a video of themselves, selecting a frame from the video. What we'll do is take a selfie. So, all right, so there's my selfie. And then I can put a caption on it, like, Star Wars. And then if I want to add a link, I can add a link there, and then I'll post it to the topic. And it's uploading my video. And by the way, they can do this from their phone. And I'll show that to you in just a minute. They can do this from their phone. So they can, and by the way, they can now, that particular video has a link. So they can share the video. They can either download it, share it to Google Classroom. So they can actually share the video link themselves. And then I go to the topic. And now what's going to happen is, as your students record their prompts and submit them, you're going to see them come up here, and you're going to see the little icon of their selfie or whatever they choose as the sort of the icon of the avatar of that particular video. And it's really cool, because then I can add that to a mixtape, which means like I can take my best responses and create like this mixtape video. I can move the responses around. I can duplicate them. I can delete them. I can edit the captions. If the captions are wrong, I can download the video if I want to go in and edit it in iMovie or Wondershare or something like that, and create like really cool like class videos of the best responses. So there's a lot of neat things that you can do there. And then of course I can just click it, and then under actions, I can delete the response if I want to, or I can create a QR code to it, whatever. So there's so many things that you can do in there. It's really, really cool. It's really a lot of fun. One thing I want to point to you to, if you are in there and you have an account, click, here's where you can go to that discovery. So you can type in, let's say, World War II. And whoops, I put World War II. Let's try World War II. Sorry. World War II. So let's see. World War II. So a couple of people have posted different things. You can click on it, sort of see, and then you can add that topic to a class. If you want to, we're going to add that topic to one of my groups, or I can create a new group to add the topic to. So this one would be for middle school. It is a prompt that was a topic that was created by another teacher for a history class in middle school. And again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can go and search through their discovery submissions from other teachers. And again, you can share yours there as well. And the other thing is their help center, which is really cool. You can just type in whatever you need help with here, and it's pretty useful. The cool thing is, if you look again in the comments of this Facebook video, you're going to find a lot of helpful links. So, and one of those links is this educator toolkit. And I just want to show that to you real quick because it's very, very helpful. So if you're new, you can get started there. There's a step-by-step guide. There's on-demand training here. A PDF that you can share with families and students if you're getting started. If you want to become a Flipgrid certified educator, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many things here. And then if you want to lead, once you become a Flipgrid master yourself and you want to lead a quick profession PLC on Flipgrid, you can download their already made PowerPoints or Google Slides or Keynote presentations and then tweak them yourself and share Flipgrid with your teams at your school, which is really cool. Very, very helpful. Let's go to, let's see what else I want to show you. This is that PDF that that's linked there. And this goes through sort of a step-by-step guide, sort of show you how to do things. And let's see what else I wanted to show you. Okay, so what I want to show you next is I am going to move over to my phone and let me stop sharing here. And I'm going to share my phone screen and hope to God that this works. So hopefully, yeah, you can, so hopefully right now you can see my screen and I'm going to the Flipgrid app and you're going to see the same type of thing in my phone, right? I'm on an iPhone. This is available for Android. It's also available for iPhone, obviously. I'm on an iPhone. And you can do pretty much everything that I just showed you. You can pretty much do everything right here inside your phone. And so the cool thing is students don't have to have a laptop or a desktop. They can do the prompts from their phone and you can monitor the prompts from your phone. So you go in, you can create groups here, or you can go into one of the groups that you've already created. So I'm going to go into block 1. And this is where you can tap and create a topic. So we're going to do books this time. And then what is your favorite book? Your favorite book. Okay. It's hard when the stuff's floating around. And again, you can still do all the same stuff, adding pictures, adding a video. You can set the timer down here. You can slide that over to make it however long you want, done, and then post your topic. And now you've got that topic. Really cool, right? Really neat. And I can get the invite link right here. Click that, copy it, go to my email, go to my Remind app, whatever apps, Google Classroom. So you can do this right on your phone. Right on your phone. You can create these topics, create the groups, do all the editing. You can monitor all the submissions that folks have submitted, and you're good to go. So let me stop sharing that. All right. So that is the basics of Flipgrid. Those are the basics to kind of get you started. In the comments again, links to additional resources for you. What I would recommend that you do is that you go to, if you haven't done it already, go to flipgrid.com, set up your account and just play around a little bit. Get used to the sort of ecosystem that you're in. It's really very intuitive, very straightforward, and fairly simple to monitor. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about some ways to integrate SCEA with this. And so give me just a minute to pull that up here. And here we go. So how do you integrate social emotional learning with Flipgrid? So you can do some daily check-ins. So maybe daily is too much, but maybe on Mondays, students come in, you have that QR code, and maybe it's the same QR code every time, or you do a new topic, say, how are you feeling at the beginning of this week? You got 1 minute to respond. Let students come in, and as they come in, they get to record their responses. Or if you're teaching virtually, if God forbid, hopefully we won't have to go back to virtual, but if we do, you could talk about like, what are you missing from school? What are some things happening? So this is a really great tool to use in a virtual setting as well. If you have students on homebound, really good way to help them stay connected into the classroom. Another thing, send positive vibes. All right, I want you to do, we used to do in teacher cadets, we said we're going to fill people's buckets. So I said, every day, we're going to write down something positive about somebody else in the classroom. Not every day, but frequently. But this is going to be a great way to do it. Like post a video giving a shout out to somebody in the class, in your class. Maybe they were on the tennis team and won a championship, or maybe they were just really nice to you that week, or maybe they got a really great grade on a test or something like that. So they can do shout outs. That you can share how has somebody else helped you in your class today? What's something that makes you happy? Tell me 3 positive things that happened to you this week, maybe on Fridays. At the end of Friday, we process the week and we talk about, here are 3 things that were good that happened to me this week. So then they're going into their weekend focused on maybe what's positive. Stress relief, post a joke of the day. You can do this with your colleagues, do this with your students, have them post a joke. Obviously, it needs to be, you may have some parameters on that, but play a game like charades. Maybe a student acts out a movie or an object in the video, and other people have to guess what that is. Yoga videos, tutorials, and then the human connection, like like at the beginning of the class, maybe I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I don't feel like I want to get up in front of the entire class on the first day of school and tell you all about me. But yeah, maybe in the privacy of my own home, when I feel safe, I'll record a video telling you who I am and what I'm about. Maybe you could do show and tell. I want to show you, some things that I have going on at my house, some cool things that I can do. Maybe you have a garden. Maybe you have a 4-wheeler. Maybe you have a really cool Lego collection or something like that. So they can do show and tell. Icebreaker questions, talent shows. So students can show off their talents, and maybe you give them, you have 5 minutes to show us what your talents are. Really cool stuff. Self-reflections, like, one thing, 3-2-1 reflection is, what are 3 things you've learned? What are 2 interesting things? What's 1 question you have? So those are some really cool ways to help them reflect on themselves. And so integrating SEL is really, really, I think, important to do. And, I talk a lot about external technologies, but I also talk about internal technologies. We have to have our students be adept at both of them. They need to be able to use applications, be able to create audio, video content, but they also need to be thinking about what's going on inside them, working on themselves, doing that inner work that Tisha talked about last night. And we do as well. Okay, so the last 2 things I want to talk to you about. This is really cool. I'm going to share my screen again. And I want you to see, this is really, really cool. Y'all are going to love this. Okay, so I don't know if any of you watch 60 Minutes. I don't watch it every week. Hang on, I got to get some water. Okay, sorry. So this link is also in the Facebook comments. So I watched 60 Minutes, and they did this really cool thing. And what they did was they took this Holocaust survivors, and it's important because they're aging now, and they put them in this like dome thing with all these lights, and I think there were like 20 cameras and lights. So they got like a 3D video image of these Holocaust survivors. And they just asked them a bunch of questions. And what you and your students can do is you can go to this website and you can ask them any question. And now they're not going to answer like stupid question like, who's your favorite X-Men? Like, it's got to be questions that are relevant to them. So I was asking this guy, questions, and you can activate your mic. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully this will work. Let's see. What was life like in the camp for you?
Life in the camp was indescribable because it was living death. And that's the only way I can describe it. Being in a concentration camp or even on a working camp during the Holocaust was living like living death. You were just 1 centimeter from the grave.
I mean, I don't know if you guys find that as impressive as I do, but like I asked him, I said, what was the food like? So I'm going to do that. What was the food like?
We ate in the camp very, very little food. We were given what they called coffee, but was made from acorns and from dried leaves. It tasted like dirty water. We got bread made from sawdust and very little of it. Sometimes it was 1 loaf divided between 8 people and some loaf divided between 12 people. And we used to give a so-called soup made from anything rotten that they could find. If there was a rotten animal around, they would cook it, rotten potatoes, rotten cabbage, anything rotten. And this is the type of food that we got in the camp.
So you see how powerful this is. I mean, just an amazing technology. And what I want you to think about, educators, and we're kind of going off from Flipgrid here for a minute, but I want you to think about where we're headed with this. This is powerful artificial intelligence. And imagine if we could capture folks from history, and imagine you could put on a VR headset and talk to this guy, and it looks like he's sitting right in front of you, and you could have a really in-depth conversation with him. How powerful that learning experience is for our students to sit down with someone like him who is living history. It's just an amazing, amazing technology, and something that I would be exploring with my students. I'd find a way, even if I didn't teach history, I'd find a way to integrate this just to show them how the technology works. It's just, it's really kind of mind-blowing to me. So I think that's kind of, those types of experiences are where we're headed. And it does kind of relate to Flipgrid, because we're moving into an era where audio and video content is just more ubiquitous, and being able to articulate yourself and document how you feel and what your opinions are through the medium of audio and video is so important. To me, it's as important as being able to write. And then being able to also watch this video and audio content and think about it and be critical about it, and not just take everything at face value, but to be able to analyze it in a way that helps you sort of discern between fact and fiction. So that's that. And then I wanted to show you one other thing, which is I'm super excited to talk about this. This is, for those of you who've been following my work, we had something called the plan and something called the movement. And I'm fortunate enough, blessed enough that I've been asked to stay on for another year at the SCEA. And we've got some more announcements coming up, but I can't share everything yet. But we've created the SCEA Center for Educator Wellness and Learning. And this website is CEWL.us. So CEWL, we're going to call it cool.us, CEWL.us. And our mission is just to improve the inner and outer lives of educators. And here's where you're going to find all the videos. So the video that I'm doing right now, I'm recording this session on Flipgrid. You'll be able to find that here. Here's Tisha's from last night. We have members like Cassandra Moore, who's the Oconee County Teacher of the Year, who's doing a whole series on literacy and social justice. My session on podcasting is there. Rick Whitmore's session on, he's done this amazing series of roundtables. His last one, which is serving Latinx students, is there. A whole thing about our micro-credential portal, which, we have the most amazing professional learning resources at the SCEA and through our connection with the NEA. Our podcast that we do with Albert Jones is here. We post our podcasts here. If you missed the webinar on Edpuzzle, what an amazing tool. Not exactly like Flipgrid, but a similar type of thing. So lots of stuff there. And then we have stuff for you to read, opinion pieces on educational issues relevant to our teachers here in South Carolina. Here's the embedded podcast. And then if you want to contact me, you can just put in your name, your email, the subject, and your message, and that'll go right to me. So there's a way for you to reach out to me if you want to. And then the last thing I want to share with you is the retreat. So we are hosting an educator renewal retreat. And this was from a retreat we did a few years ago at the same facility. It's Indigo Nature Retreat in Old Fort, North Carolina. Old Fort is east of Asheville. If you know where Asheville is, you go east on I-40 past Black Mountain, then you get to Old Fort. So it's fairly easy to get to. The cost is June 28th through the 30th. The cost is $99 for members of the SCEA. For non-members, it's $149. Now, understand, you can join the SCEA now at no cost. You join and save yourself $50. So I highly recommend that you do that. And if you'd like to come, you just click this apply to attend button, and that will take you to a Google form. And then you apply. Now, this doesn't guarantee that you're going to make it, but because you do have to answer those questions, and we do review the questions. Okay. So it's important that you answer those questions. And this is only available to public educators in the state of South Carolina. So if you're a public educator in the state of South Carolina, you are eligible to go. Again, just cheaper for the SCEA members. There's some information about the retreat here. It talks about what's included for that $99 for the SCEA members, and $149 for non-members. What you get is 2 nights in a cabin, and this is what the cabins look like. There's 5 cabins, and there's 2 people per cabin. This is what the beds look like. There's a pull-out sort of sofa type situation, and a loft bed. I think they are twin size beds. They have little micro fridges in them and coffee, that kind of thing. Well lit, cute little porches on them, and they're very, very close to the facilities. I mean, they're just a few steps away from shower, bathroom, yoga studio, really beautiful kitchens, things like that. So your fee includes your 2 nights stay in one of these cabins. It includes all trainings and activities, and your book, which we're going to get everybody a copy of, Mindfulness for Educators by Dr. Tish Jennings. And then it also includes coffee, tea, and snacks. So we will be asking people to bring their own food. The reason for that is to keep costs as low as possible. So if you want to just bring sandwiches, or there's going to be 2 fully stocked kitchens with ovens, sinks, stoves, everything you need to cook with. If you want to bring your own food, you can do that. And it would be cheaper for you than having to add on the fee for catering. And then some people are gluten-free, some are vegan, some are carnivore, whatever your diet, keto, whatever. You can bring the food that works for you and your diet instead of trying to conform to what everybody else wants. So there's more information here. Also includes 2 yoga sessions. So this is Danielle Becker. She's going to be coming in and doing 2 gentle yoga sessions. Understand that this is not going to be like you're dying, like you're going to be twisted in a pretzel. This is gentle flow, restorative stuff, which winds up making you feel very, very calm and relaxed afterwards. And then there's just some norms there. And then this sort of shows you where the retreat center is. So again, if you're coming up from I-26 from Spartanburg to Asheville, you just take I-40 and then get off here in Old Fort, and then it's right up here. And you don't need a 4-wheel drive to get there. It's not hard to get to. It's not up like this crazy mountain road. It's just, it's secluded, but not like way out. So you don't need to worry about that end of it. Again, looking at where Spartanburg is, coming up I-26 and then over I-40 to Old Fort. So that's where the retreat's going to take place. So if you're interested, if you read through this very carefully, if you want to come, click apply to attend. I'll get back to you within a few days to let you know whether you've been accepted. These are all folks. In fact, Tisha is the one who did the inner work last night. She came to this retreat. And there's just some wonderful people. Some of you may know Cara Lee is, TJ Relmer, Danielle Atkins. So some really great people have come to these retreats, and it's small enough with 10 people and all being educators that people feel like the sense of intimacy and connection to the people that come. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful facility. And I hope to see some of you there. And that's going to wrap it up for tonight. So I appreciate everybody showing up for this session on Flipgrid. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me at toddscholl@gmail.com. You can always message or comment on these videos, and I'll do my best to answer all the questions or comments that you have. And I just want to tell everybody out who's watching, I love you. And I know this year has been really, really challenging. The past couple of years have been very, very challenging. And I want to tell you that the SCEA is committed to helping you, to making your life better on the outside and the inside. We are working as hard as we can to make sure that you get the pay raises that you deserve, protected planning time that you deserve, that we fight against these voucher bills and these anti-truth bills. You know, it's interesting. Some of these legislators understand that we have over 1,000 empty classrooms or classrooms without a certified teacher, and a growing crisis in terms of being able to retain and recruit teachers. And they think the most important thing to do is to come up with bills that are addressing things that aren't even problems, or to siphon money off of public schools to unaccountable private schools. So the SCEA is fighting for you. We love you, and we're fighting for you externally to make your working conditions better, to give you better pay. But we all are also committed to your wellness. We want to make sure that you feel well, physically, mentally, and that's why we're sharing these resources like this retreat with you, and making it at a very low cost. So I hope that you'll consider joining us. I hope that you'll support us. And if you're not currently a member of the SCEA, I want to invite you to join us at jointhescea.org. That's jointhescea.org. When we come together and we work collectively, the more of us there are, the more power we have, and the better we are able to make those external conditions what we all want them to be. We want to have wonderful teaching conditions because we know that those wonderful teaching conditions lead to wonderful learning conditions for our students. Please, if you haven't, join us. Join the SCEA.org. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the next